Hey guys, sorry it took me so long to get a video on here, but here we go. I'm going to break this up into two parts. Part number one is making the origami, which most of you have already probably done. But I'm going to go ahead and do one so you have one to follow along. I'm going to make the crane. I like it. It's got a lot of detailing, and when we go to draw, you can see just with me moving this around all the shadows and stuff that get created on it, which is what we want. So I'm going to use this origami paper my son actually has, and I don't know if this is going to be good or not. It's got two different textural sides. I'm hoping you can kind of see some difference as we fold that over. But every fold I make on this initial part, I'm going to fold twice. I'm going to fold it both front and backwards. I like to use a nail of my finger. You can use a little, I got a little plastic utensil. I can use that as well. But either one of those ways work. Good hard creases are your friend in this. The harder a crease you have, the more defined a crease you have, the easier it's going to be down the road when you are trying to fold that crease, the other way. That's a big one, because a lot of times these creases will fold multiple directions, and if you don't have it creased really well, you'll run into some issues there. Okay, so I've creased that vertically and horizontally. Now I'm going to fold this across into that triangle shape. Line those edges up. Crease it nice. Go the other direction. And if any of you really got into origami, the cool thing is origami has a bunch of what they call base shapes. And we're making a base shape here. They also have kind of cool, crazy names like valley folds. And what we're doing right now is what's going to be called a valley fold. And a valley fold simply means that it's going to go inwards. The fold's going to go in towards the rest of your shape. Some of you probably found some videos, and I don't actually know if that language was on the videos that I shared, but it's out there, especially if you do step-by-step processes, which there's a bunch of those. If the video process wasn't your jam, and you still haven't gotten around to doing this because you're working on your collage piece, then you certainly can find ones out there that have step-by-step photos instead of actual videos. So folded that 4 ways now in a diagonal and up and down. I'm going to turn it so I have an end pointing towards me, and I'm going to push into a valley fold. Valley fold means these side ones are going to go inward, okay, like so. Got a little area that isn't wanting to go, and I just pop that out. So I folded those in so they're touching, squeeze this, and that gives us the diamond. Now you'll hear me refer the rest of the way through this to the top and the bottom. Okay, the bottom is open. That area is open. The top is not open. Alright, so with the open side down, I'm going to fold across. Getting these where they need to be is hugely important at this stage, because later on in the end, these will be right up against each other, and they will be a big part of making the head of this crane look just right. So this is definitely an area to use that tool to help you out. You don't want there to be any overlap here. These should be folded right up next to each other. There's that side. I'm going to flip this over and do that exact same process on the back. Again, wanting to get that bottom folded just right. Do this on the other side as well. So it should look like that. Then the triangle at the top, I'm going to fold down over one side. Flip it. Fold it down over the other side. If you're having a lot of trouble with regular paper with this, by the way, I would suggest getting wrapping paper. Wrapping paper works real easy. Okay, so this next one's probably one of the hardest steps of the whole thing. We're going to lay this flat, open one side up, and flip it up. It's going to hit that crease we just made. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is very carefully push my finger inside along that crease we have, fold it in. I'll do it again to this other side. Okay, put my finger in here along this crease we have and fold it in. Where it will get finicky and picky is up on the corner of the top. But that is good now. That is where we want it to be. And we reverse folded that, so I'm going to push that crease in just to make sure it's good. Okay, flip this over to the other side and we can see that triangle. Open it up. Fold it along there. Get your finger, get that crease to switch sides. Probably the trickiest part of doing this one, especially up at the end. Get that crease to switch sides and then lay it flush. Okay, big elongated triangle. Bottom is open. Top is just two pieces and you'll see the triangle inside of it. Okay, now we will take and kind of do the exact same step over again. We're going to fold that outside piece in. This, I think, is one of the trickiest ones to get it just where it needs to be. Definitely, once you get it there, use that guy and get that nice and smooth. I'm going to go on to the other side, fold that up, take that down, and hopefully get that smooth. Okay, and do this to the other side. You can see how that bottom can be real finicky about getting where it needs to be, especially if you're using a thicker paper. You're going to have a really hard time with it. When I say a thicker paper, I mean any sort of drawing paper or tearing a paper out of your sketchbook, I would not advise. That's really thick paper. Copy paper tends to be kind of the end of the thickness of paper that will really work with this. Alright, so now we have that really elongated diamond. We folded both sides. Okay, we're close to the end here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open this and fold it over. Okay, and when you do that, do you see what happened up there at the top? That wanted to fold funny on me. So when I fold this open and fold it over, I'm going to double check and make sure that my top folds how it ought to. Okay, so I just did this to there. Okay, so now I'm going to go over to the other side and fold this over to there. Again, make sure that top is doing what it's supposed to be doing. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is take the elongated ends down here. We're going to fold that right up into the center. You're going to flip that over. Fold the other one right up into the center. there and there. We're going to do that opening one more time. I'm going to run my finger right up to the center of that. And really make sure those top pieces fold together. I saw in a few videos some people just kind of pulled this out before they even did this and went through. Like I have a little bit of a overlap here, and they went through and kind of pre-bent that. So I'm going to do that on that side, and then I'm going to come back, I'm going to do it on the other side. I'm going to go up, and I'm just trying to push the edges together and pre-bend that. Okay, so that way when I do open these and fold these, it's already done. Push that right down in there as I open that and fold it. And then this side, it was here. We're going to close it together and do that. Okay, now we're going to take this, fold it straight down. It's going to hit a point where it won't go any further. Take the other side, same thing. Those are your wings. Lift those up. Take this top, pull him forward a little bit like this, and then squeeze underneath here where my thumb is. And what it'll do is it's creating a fold in there, and you can see that that is now at an angle instead of flat. So if we look at that angle side, okay, I'm going to take this other one, I'm going to pull it forward and squeeze it, and now you get those two downward angles. Okay, then on the top, if I grab the wings, fingers underneath, thumbs right there, and pull, it pops open. Okay, and if I push down a little bit, the wings bend. And last but not least, on the tail or the head side, what I'm going to do here is simply go in. This, I said simply, but it's not necessarily all that simple. I'm going to go in and I'm going to bend with just some finger pressure. I'm going to bend that the other direction and bend it down. So I bent that crease. Instead of it pointing up like that is, I valleyed it, pushed it down, and then I'm going to squeeze the top of that, and that gives me the downward head. Okay, the tail you don't need to mess with. And there you go, you've got a finished crane.